Hello.
Hello, teacher. Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Um, I'm good. How? Thanks.
Yeah, good, good, good. Um, I'm just getting a few things ready for the lesson today. And we're going to go through some vocabulary, okay? So what I want to start off with is just I'll start us off with a little bit of reading, okay?
Okay.
Yep. So let me just get that ready for you. And we're just going to what the lesson today is about bear rehabilitation. Hell, hold on a second. That. All right. Okay. So I'm going to sorry, we're just getting a bit of an echo there. Right. Let's go through some of the, the video first of all, I think. Let's watch the video. Okay, Bounty? So just bear with me one moment. Watch the video together.
Fluff and Scruff are two European brown bears. They may look happy and healthy now, but the start to their lives was very different. 5 years ago, they were the last two remaining bears kept in the notorious former bear breeding centre, Cormisosh.
So basically, they lived in a huge concrete box or pit. There was no grass. There was no sort of shelters outside. It kind of just looked like a prison for bears, really. There was nothing enriching, nothing happy or anything. It was just very grey, very concrete, and very barren.
In Bulgaria, European brown bears had been bred to be shot by trophy hunters for sport and kept in a row of concrete pits. At one point, over 75 bears were kept in each breeding centre, solely for hunting purposes. As a result, they expressed signs of trauma.
Yeah, so when the bears came in, they didn't behave like how healthy or mentally healthy bears would behave. There was a lot of signs of trauma, so they'd be pacing a lot. They had repetitive behaviour, not necessarily good behaviour, so a lot of pacing, a lot of head twisting, and they used to scrape along the floor, which damaged the underside of their paws. So this is all stress related and trauma related.
The law changed in 1993, banning captive bears from being hunted. However, the bears kept at these centres were simply left there, as the staff were dismissed and stopped coming in to look after them. It was up to outsiders to save these bears. Locals would come and feed them twice a day, which is what kept them alive.
They were emaciated, I'd say. If you're looking at weights, you're probably looking at 185 kilograms, when now you're looking at his top weight would be around 285 kilograms. They had no skills in their upbringing. Mother teaches them all the skills they acquire. So if they're not taught, they would just not find anything to eat until they used their nose and got in themselves into trouble. So they had to be taught to learn how to forage for themselves.
Alertis, a bear rescue organisation, contacted the Wildwood Trust and asked if we could give these last two bears a home. We raised the money through fundraisers, and after a 1,500-mile journey through 9 countries, the bears arrived in their new 1.5-acre woodland paradise in Kent. Complete with a plunge pool, waterfall, dens, and up to 50 species of native trees. This couldn't be further from the concrete pits of Cormisosh.
A lot of grass areas, which they use when they first come out of hibernation. They'll be eating grass mostly, so we've sown that with woodland species of grass that do well in the shaded areas. There's small shelters out there and large mounds. And the large mounds have been used for making dens in. The scruff particularly likes to dig these huge, vast dens.
Head keeper Paul looks after Fluff and Scruff and monitors their daily activities. In Bulgaria, the bears were fed maize meal porridge, so their digestive systems were not used to processing regular food. Every fruit, every vegetable they eat is recorded, as keepers complete the long process of rehabilitating their diet. Now, the bears are fed on a nutritious omnivorous diet, which is expertly balanced to the bears and the seasons. A variety of enrichment is scattered around their enclosure every morning, so they have to do the work to find it, just like wild bears would. Following their rehabilitation and therapy, the bears are now unrecognisable to the frail, malnourished bears they were before.
So we rescued Fluff and Scruff 5 years ago now, and a huge amount of the work that the amazing keeper team have been doing is to get them back into exhibiting normal bear behaviour, behaving like bears should do in the wild. And getting these poor, abused and neglected bears back to this level of health and vitality and natural behaviour has been a huge achievement. It's something I'm really proud of.
So they've undergone torpor now, they're foraging, just doing bear stuff. They spend the whole day just being bears rather than being in this concrete pit, essentially.
So when the bears first arrived, they were really underweight. They were completely out of all the natural rhythms of being a bear. And so we've got them back into those natural seasonal cycles and getting them to exhibit again as much of that natural bear behaviour as we possibly can.
Yeah, it's really rewarding just to see them sort of bounce back, like completely forgotten about their past life.
You know, the work we've done has been really nationally and internationally recognised now. We've won a Biaggia Award for the rehabilitation of the bears. And we also had our keepers presenting at an international bear symposium on bear husbandry, you know, really setting the standards for the best ways of looking after bears in captivity.
It's why you do the job. Part of the reason why you do the job. It's immensely satisfactory just to see them doing their stuff. I suppose ideally you would have them released, but that's not possible.
Okay, so what we've got there is a little video about Fluff and Scruff. So two bears who were in captivity for a very long time, released back, not into the wild, but into an enclosure, which is very similar to their natural habitat. So I'm just going to put the transcript in the chat box there. And what I also want to do is put the vocabulary bank in the chat box, because what we're going to do is we're going to practice some of the vocabulary. So if you do have access already to the Stax English IELTS Master Course, you should be able to see the vocabulary bank there and follow along. So we've got lots of words to learn. If you don't have access to the course yet, you can join up by following this link with the coupon code English for All. So I think, Bowney, you're already signed up, aren't you? We're already signed up to the course, I believe.
Oh, yes.
Yes, fantastic.
Yes, I
Okay.
have.
For anyone who's watching on the live stream, if you want to sign up to the Stax English IELTS Master Course for free, you can do so by typing in Stax English IELTS Master Course into Google and going on here. And then if you go down here, there's a little bit where you can enter in a coupon code. So you can just type in English for All. That's English FOR all, no spaces and all in capitals. And you can join up to the Udemy course free of charge. So there's no charge. It doesn't run out either. It's a lifetime membership. And that course that coupon code will work until I think the 10th of October. So I think you need to sign up relatively quickly to get that done. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go through some of the vocabulary. So we've got the vocabulary bank. Now, I've actually opened this up in a Word document just for simplicity's sake. So I want to just match up some of the terms here. Okay, so we've got lots of different words here. Let me make it a bit smaller. Okay. So first of all, we have this term breeding. So what does this match up to? Do you any thoughts? Breeding.
Mm,
Now you can just say the letter, of course. You don't have to read out the entire definition.
um, excuse me, I'm reading.
Yeah, that's okay. No rush at all. There is one more definition on the next page as well, which some hasn't onto there.
Mm,
Zoom it out just a little bit more.
I haven't got the answer yet.
It's okay. We'll come back to that one. How about huge?
Huge is the very large in
Yes.
size or amount.
That's quite correct. Yeah. So huge is very large in size or amount. Very good. How about shelter?
Shelter is a structure that
Yeah, you can read it if you like. A structure that provides protection from weather or
or danger.
Yep, very good. How about prison?
Mm, where is it? Hmm.
Any idea for prison?
I can't find it.
Can you not? That's okay. Take your time. So have a look
Okay.
through. So when do we go to prison? Do you know the word generally, what a prison is?
Um,
Well, about a prison, we're talking about a place that you go usually after you've committed a crime, though not always. Sometimes it's just a place where we put people either lawfully or otherwise. So when we talk about a
oh, I
prison,
I realize it's the college. Is it the
um, it it so it's prison is, let's have a look at it. So prison is a correctional facility for confinement of offenders. So it's basically a place where people are put if they've broken the law. So it's actually just D right there.
oh
Yeah. So it's not now let's be clear, a prison is not always where criminals go. Not everyone in prison is a
mm,
criminal. You know, you have prisoners of war and things like that. They're not
yeah.
criminals who have been captured.
Mm.
Yeah. What about enrich? To enrich something.
Enrich means to make something better, better or more valuable.
That's
Is
absolutely
a
right. Yep, to make something better or more valuable. Very good. What is a trophy?
trophy. It's B. An act of completing a goal or task.
Not quite.
Okay. Oh, an award given for success or victory.
That is exactly right. Yep, an award given for success or victory. What about trauma? When we talk about someone who suffers from trauma.
Is L an
L,
emotion, no, or physical shock?
yeah. An emotional or physical shock that lasts for a long time. Very good. How about repetitive? If we describe something as repetitive.
It's H,
Yeah,
repeating the same action.
that's exactly right. Yep. And a scrape. What is a scrape?
Hmm.
Not sure on this one?
I'm not very sure.
That's okay. We can come back to that one. So how about banning? If we ban something, what does it mean?
It's K, an official prohibition against something.
That's exactly right. Yep, an official prohibition against something, so something that's no longer allowed. Dismissed. If someone has been dismissed, what does that mean?
It means it's J, lost your job or position.
Absolutely right. Lost your job or position. How about emaciated? So this is another adjective. If someone or something is emaciated.
I don't know what is that word mean.
Okay, well, if you're emaciated, it's when you haven't eaten for a very long time and you're sort of you're massively underweight, very, very skinny, very, very thin.
Also is G, very
It is
thin
G.
due
Yeah,
to
very thin
illness.
due to illness or lack of food.
Emaciated.
Yep, very good. Upbringing, your upbringing.
It's M, the way a person is raised during childhood.
Very good. How about the verb forage? To forage for something.
It's N, to search for food or for provisions.
Yeah, to search for food or provisions is to forage. Yep, good. How about paradise?
Paradise is a place of perfect happiness and peace.
Very good. A place of perfect happiness and peace is paradise. Very good. What about hibernation?
Actually, I don't understand that word.
Okay, so hibernation is when it's something that some animals do. It's when they sleep for a very, very long time, weeks or months at a time, usually in the winter. Any idea what that could be?
It's you, the act of slowing down activity during winter.
Yes, that's right. Well done. Next, we have species. What is a species?
It's maybe it's B.
You're almost right. It's not B.
Mm.
It's when we talk about a species, it's like a type of plant or animal or living thing. And quite specifically, they are plants, animals, or living things that can breed and have viable offspring with another of their species. So, for example, a dog and another dog can produce another dog, a baby dog, that can go on to meet other dogs and make even more dogs. Therefore, they are the same species. A dog can also do this with a wolf, which means that wolves and dogs are
Oh,
the
yeah.
same species, even if they're even if they're a different subspecies. A dog and a horse, that doesn't work.
Yeah.
A donkey and a horse, they can breed and produce a baby, but they're not the same species because a donkey and a horse produce an animal that cannot itself breed again. They're not the same species. So, yeah, so that's basically the definition of the species. What do we mean by nutritious?
Is R
Yeah,
providing good
providing good
nourishment.
nourishment or health benefits. Very good. Yep, great stuff. Omnivorous.
Mm.
So we have carnivorous, which means an animal that eats meat.
Oh,
Herbivorous, which eats animals. And omnivorous does what?
it's Q, eating
Yeah,
both plants and animals.
exactly. Omnivorous. So human beings are omnivorous, and so are bears. What about unrecognizable?
It's T, difficult to recognize because of damage or change.
Exactly, yeah. So when they were talking about how much weight the bears have put on, they're now unrecognizable from how they were before.
Yes.
Yeah. Vitality.
Let's see.
So vitality comes from the word vi, which is, well, it's a Latin word meaning life.
I think it's P,
It
energy
is.
and liveliness.
Well done. Energy and liveliness, the ability to survive and grow, is vitality. Fantastic. So let's do scrape. So scrape, we've only got I or B.
I think it's I.
It is that an area of skin torn or worn off, a harsh noise from scraping. Very good. And then that means that the last one, and I want to change this slightly, is breeding, the production of plants or animals by inbreeding or hybridization. Now, I don't think that's not entirely accurate, so I'm going to just change this a little bit to just the production of plants or animals by mixing DNA. That's essentially it. So yeah, and then finally we have achievement, an
It's
act. Yeah, go
an
on.
act of accomplishing a goal or task.
Exactly. Yeah, very good. All right, great stuff. Yeah. So well done. So we know the what the vocabulary means now. So let's try to put it in context. Okay, so we're going to just zoom in on these words. Now we've got the vocabulary words at the top. So the farmer practiced selective something to produce healthier and stronger animals. What did the farmer practice?
Um, business.
It's something we do with animals. So let's say we take a cow that produces lots and lots of milk, and another cow that produces lots and lots of milk, and we use them to produce a third cow, hoping that that one will produce even more milk.
Mm. Mm. Is that species or
It
breeding?
wouldn't be species, it would be breeding. Yeah, very good. So breeding, let's take that out of there, pop that in there. Selective breeding is when we choose which animals get to produce offspring, babies. And when we're farming, we choose the ones that have traits or characteristics that we as humans want. So we want cows that produce a lot of milk, or cows that produce a lot of meat, sheep that produces a lot of wool, and different things as well. We also breed dogs to have specific traits, maybe a certain look, or maybe ones that can smell very well, or maybe ones that can swim. Lots of different types of dogs. We have dogs for hunting, dogs for guarding our homes, dogs that
Yes.
look very, very cute, big dogs, little dogs, everything in between. And we have selectively bred them to look this way.
Yes.
Yeah. The mountain was so something that it could be seen from miles away.
It was so huge.
Huge is right. Well done. Very good. Let's take huge out and put it in there. During the storm, the family sought inside a sturdy cabin to stay safe from the elements.
Mm. Mm.
So this is when we want to stay somewhere that is protected.
Mm. Vitality.
No.
Sense.
One more time.
What is it? Shelter.
Shelter is right. Very good. Shelter. So when we something that keeps us safe from the
Shelter.
rain and the wind and the elements.
Okay.
Yep. The criminal was sent to something after being found guilty of theft.
The criminal was sent to prison.
That's right. The criminal was sent to prison after being found guilty of theft. Reading a variety of books can help your knowledge and understanding of the world.
Enrich.
Well done. Enrich your knowledge. Yep, very good. Very good. Next one, we have the winning team displayed a shiny something after their victory in the championship game.
The winning team displayed a shiny trophy after their victory.
Yep, well done. Let me just sort that out. Okay. Oh, sorry. Frozen up a second. Yes, that's right. A trophy after their victory in the championship games. Very good. After the car accident, she experienced emotional, that took months to heal.
After the car accident, she experienced emotional trauma.
Yep.
Trauma.
Trauma. Yep, she experienced. Yeah, we can say that. Let's try pronouncing it. Trauma. Rather than not trauma, but trauma.
Trauma.
Yep. Trauma is very good. Yep, well done. Emotional trauma. Let's just put that in there. 1 second. Okay. She experienced emotional trauma. Let's try this next one. The teacher asked the students to avoid tasks so they could focus on more meaningful work. So we need an adjective here.
The teacher asked the students to avoid repetitive tasks.
That's exactly right. Yep, repetitive tasks so they could focus on more meaningful work. Next up, we have the dog looked something because it had lost a lot of weight due to illness. So there's two words that could probably go in here, but I think one is a bit better than the other. The dog looked
emaciated.
I think it's probably emaciated. An argument could be made for unrecognizable,
Yes.
but emaciated is more specific because it's due to weight loss, isn't it? The government announced on single-use plastics to protect the environment.
A banning.
A ban, yeah. So really, we should, rather than using the continuous tense there, we should just say a ban, because we're using the verb there. Sorry, we're using the noun ban, a ban, rather than banning, which is a continuous verb. So in this sentence, it makes sense to use the noun a ban. After the company went bankrupt, many employees were from their jobs.
They were dismissed.
Very good. Dismissed from their jobs. Very good. Fantastic. Her something shaped her values and attitudes as she grew up in a caring family. So what shaped her values and attitude?
Upbringing.
Her upbringing, very good. The way she was raised. Very good. Next up, during winter, some animals will, for food, to survive the cold months. So what will they what does this mean? Looking for food?
Forage.
Forage. Food, yep, very good.
Forage.
Very good. The gardener made a deep something in the soil to plant new seeds. Deep what in the soil?
A deep scrape.
A deep scrape, yep. So you scrape away the soil to plant new seeds. Very good. Yep, good work, guys. Many people consider the ocean to be a symbol of where peace and tranquility abound. So many people consider the ocean to be a place of something where peace and tranquility abound.
Is a paradise.
Yes, very good. Yep, good stuff. Well done. Paradise. I'll just get that ready. Right, okay. Paradise, yep, very good. Symbol of paradise. Fruits and vegetables are sources of essential vitamins and minerals. So fruits and vegetables are sources of essential vitamins and minerals.
It's nutritious.
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 Nutritious is right. Yeah,
Nutritious.
very good. Nutritious. Very good. Okay. Next up, some animals are something feeding on both plants and other animals.
Some animals are
Some animals are
omnivorous.
omnivorous. Yep, very good. Omnivorous, feeding on other plants and animals. Good. His something was evident in his energetic and enthusiastic approach to life. So let's have a look at that.
His achievement.
His what?
His achievement is
Not achievement. So he's talking about somebody who's very active and energetic. We're
his
talking about full of life.
vitality.
Vitality is right. Yep, well done. Vitality. His vitality was evident. So it's like it's obvious, it's clear in his energetic and enthusiastic approach to life. Very good. Oh, sorry, next one. Bears enter something during the cold months to conserve energy. So this is a noun. Bears enter what? So it's when they sleep for a very long time.
Hibernation.
Hibernation is right. Well done. Hibernation, where they sleep for a very long time to conserve energy in the cold months, cold winter months, when there's not as much food around. The damaged photo was something and difficult to recognize.
It's unrecognizable.
Yeah, that, by the way, whilst that grammatically makes sense, it's a terrible sentence because the damaged photo was unrecognizable and difficult to recognize. I mean, it's just saying the same thing twice. So you could just take away that and say the damaged photo was unrecognizable.
Yes.
Winning the gold medal was a major something for the athlete.
Achievement.
Achievement, very good. And then the something of a tiger is different from that of a lion. So that would be species, yep. So lions and tigers can actually breed, and they can produce a tigon or a liger. But tigons and ligers cannot themselves breed, so it means that they are different species, even if they can have a baby. Okay. So what I want to do now is just to rewatch the video and read through the transcript. Okay. So we'll watch the video and the subtitles will take us through the transcript. And then we'll practice the quiz, the reading quiz. Okay.
Okay.
So let's watch the video first.
Fluff and Scruff are two European brown bears. They may look happy and healthy now, but the start to their lives was very different. 5 years ago, they were the last two remaining bears kept in the notorious former bear breeding centre, Kormisosh.
So basically they lived in a huge concrete box or pit. There was no grass, there was no sort of shelters outside. It kind of just looked like a prison for bears, really. There was nothing enriching, nothing happy or anything. It was just very grey, very concrete, very barren.
In Bulgaria, European brown bears have been bred to be shot by trophy hunters for sport and kept in a row of concrete pits. At one point, over 75 bears were kept in each breeding centre, solely for hunting purposes. As a result, they express signs of trauma.
Yeah, so when the bears came in, they didn't behave like how healthy or mentally healthy bears would behave. There was a lot of signs of trauma, so they'd be pacing a lot. They had repetitive behaviour, not necessarily good behaviour, so a lot of pacing, a lot of head twisting, and they used to scrape along the floor, which damaged the underside of their paws. So this is all stress related and trauma related.
The law changed in 1993, banning captive bears from being hunted. However, the bears kept at these centres were simply left there, as the staff were dismissed and stopped coming in to look after them. It was up to outsiders to save these bears. Locals would come and feed them twice a day, which is what kept them alive.
They were emaciated, I'd say. If you're looking at weights, you're probably looking at 185 kilogram, when now you're looking at his top weight would be around 285 kilograms. They had no skills in their upbringing. Mother teaches them all the skills they acquire. So if they're not taught, they would just not find anything to eat until they used their nose and got themselves into trouble. So they had to be taught to learn how to forage for themselves.
Alertis, a bear rescue organisation, contacted the Wildwood Trust and asked if we could give these last two bears a home. We raised the money through fundraisers, and after a 1,500-mile journey through 9 countries, the bears arrived in their new 1.5-acre woodland paradise in Kent. Complete with a plunge pool, waterfall, dens, and up to 50 species of native trees. This couldn't be further from the concrete pits of Cormasosh.
A lot of grass areas, which they use when they first come out of hibernation. They'll be eating grass mostly, so we've sown that with woodland species of grass that do well in the shaded areas. There's small shelters out there and large mounds, and the large mounds have been used for making dens in. The scruff particularly likes to dig these huge, vast dens.
Head keeper Paul looks after Fluff and Scruff and monitors their daily activities. In Bulgaria, the bears were fed maize meal porridge, so their digestive systems were not used to processing regular food. Every fruit, every vegetable they eat is recorded, as keepers complete the long process of rehabilitating their diet. Now, the bears are fed on a nutritious omnivorous diet, which is expertly balanced to the bears and the seasons. A variety of enrichment is scattered around their enclosure every morning, so they have to do the work to find it, just like wild bears would. Following their rehabilitation and therapy, the bears are now unrecognisable to the frail, malnourished bears they were before.
So we rescued Fluff and Scruff 5 years ago now, and a huge amount of the work that the amazing keeper team have been doing is to get them back into exhibiting normal bear behaviour, behaving like bears should do in the wild. And getting these poor, abused and neglected bears back to this level of health and vitality and natural behaviour, it's been a huge achievement. It's something I'm really proud of.
So they've undergone torpor now, they're foraging, just doing bear stuff. They spend the whole day just being bears rather than being in this concrete pit, essentially. So
when the bears first arrived, they were really underweight. They were completely out of all the natural rhythms of being a bear. And so we've got them back into those natural seasonal cycles and getting them to exhibit again as much of that natural bear behaviour as we possibly can.
Yeah, it's really rewarding just to see them sort of bounce back, like completely forgotten about their past life.
You know, the work we've done has been really nationally and internationally recognised now. We've won a Biaggia Award for the rehabilitation of the bears. And we also had our keepers presenting at an international bear symposium on bear husbandry, you know, really setting the standards for the best ways of looking after bears in captivity.
It's why you do the job. Half of the reason why you do the job. It's immensely satisfactory just to see them doing their stuff. I suppose ideally you would have them released, but that's not possible.
Okay, so little refresher on the video there. Hope we can use that to understand the vocabulary a little bit in context a little bit more. So
Yes.
Yep. So what I want to do is what I like to do here is just duplicate the tab so that we have the transcript ready. And we can also do the reading quiz. Okay. Just makes it easier
Okay.
to flick between the two when you're on the Stax English Master Course. So just wait for that to load and you can read through if you like. Okay, so I'm going to just bring up the quiz now. Retry this. So it's only 7 questions, so relatively easy. What are the names of the bears shown in the video? Is it Fluff and Scruff, Fluffy and Scruffy, Doofy and Floofy, or Ben and Jerry?
It's A, Fluff and Scruff.
It's Fluff and Scruff. Well done. Yep. Good job. Where were the bears being bred for the purposes of hunting? So it Kent, Sophia, Cormazosh, or Beartown? So
I
let's have a
remember.
look. It's okay. It's all right. We'll have a look. So obviously, when we talk about places, we're using proper nouns, and proper nouns cannot change. You can't give any other name to a proper noun because it's the name of a place or a place or a person's name or something like that. So we have to look for one of those 4 proper nouns: Kent, Sophia, Cormazosh, or Beartown, and have a look and see which one is prevalent, which one is there, and whether it fits in. It's Cormazosh, isn't it? Yeah, very good. 5 years ago, they were the last 2 remaining bears kept in the notorious former bear breeding center in Cormazosh. So yeah, so Cormazosh. Very good. Okay. What constitutes rehabilitation of these bears? Is it acknowledging past experiences, accepting the present, environmental changes, and learning to forage? Is it acknowledging past experiences, meal changes, temperature changes, and learning to forage? Is it mental and behavioral changes, nutritional changes, temperature changes, and learning to walk? Or is it mental and behavioral changes, nutritional changes, environmental changes, and learning to forage? So I think the best thing with a question like this is to try to have maybe a guess and then check if your guess is right before committing to it.
Okay, I think is D, the
Think
last
D.
one.
Okay, so let's have a look. Mental and behavioral changes, nutritional changes, environmental changes, and learning to forage. So let's find out if that's correct. So what do we mean when we talk about rehabilitation? Let's try to find something. So what we can do when we're looking for this is looking for words like the same as or similar to the ones that we've talked about, that we just read about, or finding a word related to the question, like rehabilitation. So we can see rehabilitation popping up here.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. We can see words like foraging.
Foraging, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Exhibiting normal behavior. Okay, we've got some information here. The mother teaches them all the skills they acquire, so if they're not taught, they would just not find anything to eat until they use their nose and got themselves into trouble. So they had to be taught how to learn to forage for themselves. So it looks like foraging is definitely a big part of it, isn't it?
yes.
Yep. Yeah. So let's have a look. So do we want to go with our number 4, mental and behavioral changes, nutritional changes, environmental changes, and learning to forage? Do you want to go with that, or would you like to change your answer?
Hmm. Hmm. I will go with that.
Okay. You're absolutely right. Yeah, very good.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm going to use the AI to just give that a bit more of an explanation so you can
Okay.
explain this further. It addresses, your selected answer is correct because it addresses the comprehensive needs of bears in rehabilitation, focusing on their mental and behavioral health, proper nutrition, adjusting to environmental changes, and acquiring foraging skills essential for survival. This holistic approach ensures that bears can successfully adapt back into the wild. Very good. What are some of the changes the bears exhibited after rehabilitation? Is it making dens or eating honey? What are some of the changes that they exhibited? So how did the bears change? What did they do after they've been taken away from the concrete pits and given space to roam around?
Excuse me, what is making dance mean?
Okay, so making dens means building kind of like a little hole for you to hide in, like a little cave. So we can see here, it says just down here, when that person was quoted, it says, a lot of grass areas, which they use when they first come out of hibernation, they'll be eating grass mostly. So we've sown that with a woodland species of grass that do well in the shaded areas. There's small shelters out there and large mounds. And the large mounds have been used for making dens in them. Scruff particularly likes to dig these huge, vast dens. So a mound is like a big pile of something, a big pile of mud, a big pile of stones or something like that. In this case, we're talking about a big mound of soil with grass over it. And Scruff the bear digs into that, makes a little comfortable little nest, kind of like a nest for a bear. So that's what making dens is. And
Okay, so
clearly that's the one, yeah. Yeah. And also honey, I mean, bears do eat honey, but honey is not mentioned here at all. So it's never mentioned. There's no other word for honey than honey. So again, it's a noun that nouns don't tend to change their names very often. So we are not looking at anything to do with honey. What are some of the other changes the bears exhibited after rehabilitation? Speaking English, playing, of course. That one's a very obvious answer because bears can't speak English, not outside of the world of fiction. And what are some of the other changes the bears exhibited after rehabilitation?
Foraging.
Foraging, yeah. So foraging, looking for things. There's no mention of them fighting. What are some of the changes the bears exhibited after rehabilitation? normal bear behavior or twisting their head?
Normal behavior.
Exactly right, yeah, because it does mention about twisting heads, but
Oh, yes.
it says it very early on, and it says that it was a symptom of them being basically extremely unhealthy. And you
Yes.
can see this, yep. And you can see it right there, can't you? So when the bears came in and they didn't behave like how mentally healthy bears would behave, there were a lot of signs of trauma. They'd be pacing a lot, and they had repetitive behavior and not necessarily good behavior. So a lot of pacing, a lot of head twisting, and they used to scrape along the floor, which damaged the underside of their claws. So this is kind of the way that they would behave if they're under stress. All right, very good, very good, very good. All right, so fantastic work on that.
Yay.
Yep, well done, well done. What we're going to do in the next lesson, which will be tomorrow at the same time, is we're going to practice some conversation, okay? Now, this is actually about zoos. So what I would recommend is have a little look at the written conversation practice module. Now, you can open this up, and it's a conversation AI. And you can actually talk to it and have a conversation about some of these questions, some of these things, and see if you can learn some things about the overall question, which is, are zoos a good thing for animals? So you can ask it questions, converse with it, learn a little bit, practice some written conversation. Maybe learn, have a think about what your answer to each of these questions might be. So we've got some questions like, how do zoos help with conservation? Are animals happier living in zoos? Is it ethical to keep animals in captivity for our entertainment? Do zoos inspire people to protect and nurture animals? What were the precursors to zoos? Do breeding programs in zoos work? Are animals from zoos ever released into the wild? And do animals in zoos live longer? So we'll practice in the next lesson tomorrow. We'll review the vocabulary quickly, and then we'll practice some of these topics, okay, some of these questions, and we'll do some speaking. We'll talk about, rehabilitating animals and the roles that zoos may have to play, whether they're ethical or unethical. Now, just before we finish, for anybody who's watching on the live stream, who's interested, who's watching this as it's been recorded, these lessons are pay what you can afford. So that means you can pay as much or as little as you like for this lesson. Any money that is donated, any money that I receive is used to help poor families in Hanoi. So if you're in Vietnam, you can use the QR code or the details on screen now to make a donation. Any donation will help, and all of your donations are appreciated. If you're outside of Vietnam and you'd like to help out some people who are struggling in Vietnam, people who are under the poverty line, you can send a donation via PayPal using ax.english.tutoring@gmail.com. And I will use that equivalent money to help poor families in Vietnam. The things that we spend the money on include things like food, emergency supplies, rent, medical bills, and this is all done through my charitable campaign, which is called Help Hanoi's Homeless, which you can find on Facebook. So any donation that you can give would be greatly appreciated, and please feel free to invite friends who would benefit from this lesson to join up. We will be doing these lessons every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Hanoi time. That's UTC +7 or GMT +7. Thank you very much for your support. Before we finish, is there anything I can go over with you guys at all? Anything I can help you with? Anyone on the live stream, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask away. Or Bao-Ni, if you have any questions at all.
No, I don't.
Okay, all right, no problem. Well, I'll see you in the next class then. Same time again. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye-bye for
Okay.
now, okay?
Bye-bye. Thank you
Bye-bye.
and see you again.
Thank you. You take care. Bye now.